We know now, or I know now, that climate change types are out there shutting down debate and reporting people's YouTube channel automatically with AI algorithms and so on. And yeah, this is being conducted by NGOs such as the Centre for Combating Digital Hate and so on. And maybe I want to address an appeal to climate activists and climate scientists out there, saying like, look, I'm afraid to say, I think on this topic of climate change and man-made climate change, you're going to have to step away from the argument, and you're going to have to admit that you were wrong about something. And I think that there's no shame in admitting that you were wrong about something. I think there's shame in doggedly sticking to an opinion that's outdated, uh, that's incorrect, that's contradicted by new evidence that's come to the fore. And I see this demonstrated now even in 2021 on Columbia University's website. They're reporting that most of the light incoming from the sun is in the visible end of the electromagnetic spectrum, whereas that is not the truth. Most of the incoming light from the sun is in the infrared part of the spectrum. And I think this is a major problem and a major misunderstanding that we have in climate science. And we lack a complete, as yet, understanding of stellar astrophysics, and we need more complete data sets, more complete analysis. We need yet a lot more experiments and research to be done. However, having said that, from an environmentalist standpoint, and I'm most certainly an environmentalist, I think that we're causing huge amounts of devastation to the planet, and that CO2 may well be causing a great deal of devastation to the planet via ocean acidification. By that, we may be, losing marine habitats, marine wildlife. And I think it's still a very noble thing to encourage people to stop the use of fossil fuels. However, my position on this was always that we should approach it from a resource security angle, and that we're more likely to blow ourselves up with hydrogen bombs, and that will be heating the atmosphere, than it will have any effect on global warming or climate change. I think resource wars are what we always really needed to be afraid of. And it's just a fine distinction, or a fine point of the science underpinning everything. And I don't think that we need to get so hung up on it. And I think we need to retire this worry about climate change, and come to an appreciation of the fact that we don't know everything about it yet. And when it comes to other issues such as deforestation, I think that's a terrible thing. I think that we could be doing a lot more to curb that, and not cutting down forests for palm oil and using hemp for palm oil, or hemp for gasoline instead, and for petrochemicals. I think we could be using hemp in rotations with our other crops. Oh, great, an alarm. Yeah, sorry. Hemp in rotations with our other crops to eliminate our need for natural gas fertilizers, since hemp fixes nitrogen in the soil, and so on and so forth. And yet there's a huge amount of environmental devastation and degradation going on around the world that we have been causing. There's no way of getting around that, no way of denying that, I don't think. There's a huge garbage patch in the middle of the Pacific Ocean that's the size of Texas, as I understand it. We could be using, fungi, for instance, or mycorrhizal networks to try and consume that and get rid of it, or cleaning that up somehow. We could be doing things like of that nature. And we don't need to keep turning this planet into a rubbish tip. I do understand that much, at least. I'm not totally ignorant when it comes to environmentalism, but I think climate science, climate change, climate activism, these things have been an unfortunate distraction, and unfortunately have failed to get most people on side, I think, when it comes to the environmentalist movement. And the unfortunate side effect has been that people, because they distrust the arguments from climate change, they distrust the whole of the environmental movement, because they associate the environmental movement with the movement to end man-made climate change. Whereas I think we need a more sophisticated understanding of atmospheric science, and I think we need more data from stellar astrophysics and these sorts of things before we start making climate arguments, and keep that more in the realms of speculative physics and speculative geography, should we say, rather than anything that we really know about very much for certain. So I think that's what I want to say, really, about this matter, more or less.